Right, ready? Are we on? Yeah.
I told you that we're live.
Okay, guys, 1, 2, 3. We starting? We are live, Mike.
Absolutely.
Okay, welcome back to the new episode of IFTV. We are again in the dungeon of Brooklyn over here, Brooklyn, New York, actually, because we have so many different Brooklyn. I find out that I thought it was only Brooklyn, New York, but we have a lot more Brooklyn.
Like
the
where?
Brooklyn Gum.
I never heard of it.
What's
another Brooklyn?
If you're from a different Brooklyn than New York, please text us.
Yeah.
There is
We
an
would like to know.
Anto's a
Is there
loss
another
today.
Brooklyn?
No.
Oh yeah, there's Venice, there's Florence,
Naples. I know Naples, Florida.
Naples.
Somebody
Yeah.
told me they were in Naples, Florida, and then
Yeah.
I was
They
like,
are. They
where?
are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the west coast of Florida, way down.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
But they have nothing to do with Naples. They
It's
just
got
call it
nothing to do
Naples.
with
Yeah.
Naples. So there's a lot more than we.
They have
think.
Rome. They have Rome too.
Rome?
In America, they have a couple places they call Rome, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
So let's switch from the geography back to the
You're the one
game.
who went there.
So great week for us for AC Milan. Should I start with AC Milan because
Go
the
ahead.
excitement? Okay. What do we say? What made me happier? I had to leave the live game with Mike. Who else was with us, Mike? You, me, and Ryan. What?
Yes.
So we were watching the game live. Oh, and you too, because at some point I had to leave to do to attend some local chores.
You left because your team was losing and you were embarrassed to stay the whole
not true.
time.
No, first of all, we were losing 2-1. By the time that I was leaving, I said, and Marco kept looking at my face and enjoying himself as an under. 1-0 as an under. Okay, give me one. So I had the first one, and then I
He gave you a couple extra ones, right?
2-0, and he was enjoying himself with his calculator. Oh my God! If we win today, we're going to be 3 points behind Inter and all of that stuff. So I said, okay, hey, good luck. What can I tell you? I never bended once, and I never said we're going to lose. So sure enough, I was doing my little chores with my wife, and I hear my phone pop 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 pop. I said, what the hell is
What
that?
ringtone is that?
Huh?
What ringtone is that?
I don't know. So I checked my phone and I see AC Milan 3, Verona 2. I said, how can that be? We were down 2-0. What is this, like 3 goals in 5 minutes? Sure enough, I double checked. I clicked on and I yelled. There were a few other people next to us. And then they said, what the hell is going on? I said, no, never mind. Nothing crazy.
You won't understand.
Huh?
They won't understand.
So my wife, she said, something to do with soccer. So she kind of, she gave me up. So a great win, and we deserved it, because Castillejo played a spectacular game. And even though
you deserved it.
Verona gave you an own goal.
The own goal, not even a Bay 8 I have ever seen somebody score that kind of own goal. Elementary, the ball comes in this way, you go with the left, the guy goes with his right outside foot. I mean, I never seen that.
I've seen
when
Antonio
you are
do
under
that.
pressure, when you are under pressure, you can make that kind of mistake. And AC Milan, they really wanted to win the game, so that's why they put Ibra.
Listen,
they put back Ibra into the game.
I must say that Milan was down 2-0, and to come back from 2-0, it shows that AC Milan not only is growing mentally with a character, but they got quality. So this is what it takes for a team to win when you 2-0, because the team sometimes you play together, you fight and you run, but you're not going to win the game. But when you got some players that can make the difference, that's when you win the game, even if you're down 2-0.
Well,
But we had no players. We had no Tio Hernandez, no Brahim Diaz. Ibrahimovic came only for 10 minutes on the second half.
Yeah, but the Castillejo,
Calabria,
I mean,
right?
Castillejo stepped up to the plate.
you got
big
players now with quality.
time. Leao is great player.
Yeah, Leao did really well.
Leao, the guy.
Benacer did extremely well. Tonali came in the last 15, 20 minutes
hello.
and made a big difference.
That's what I'm trying
So,
to say.
What really impressed me, I think this weekend more than anything, I learned that AC Milan, it feels like I was talking to Ludo about the same thing. There are certain years where there's just something in the air that it feels like things are going to go your way, right? There's luck, there's a magic, I don't know what
Right.
it is.
We don't depend on anybody,
This
Marco.
Well, weekend, I felt that for AC Milan and for Napoli. Like, I feel like it's going to be one of their years.
Well, you said you don't know what it is. Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's because you could play a bad game and you're really terrible, and then at the end, it's 2 minutes left in the game, there's 3 minutes left in the game, and You score because you got the quality players. That's what makes the difference.
Technically, analyzing the game, I mean, Verona didn't do really much. They just were able to just
First half
convert. Yeah, well, they were able to convert those 2-3 chances that they had. And,
they played better than Milan, I thought,
on the first half. A little better. But those are circumstances that you really have no control of it. It's not that we got caught. With
They were clinical. They're very clinical with their chances.
What a disaster Di Francesco did with that team, right? I was looking at Verona in that first half, and I was just thinking about how bad Di Francesco had done with their team and how Tudor, he looked pretty good. They were, they're kind of a team on the rise again. That's what I felt a little bit. But before we get too deep into it, we do got to say our premium sponsors for this entire season are Paramount Plus, CBS. Guys, use the link in our description if you're not already. Champions League is coming back. Make sure you use our code 7 days free.
Tomorrow.
If you're watching this today, so you got to go and get it. Make sure you use
for you guys might be today.
IFTV code. The thing I love about it, this is what I was realizing, is that the ease of use. Like, it just makes it so easy that I don't have to worry. I know there's still people out there that don't get a subscription on TV. They want to find these links on these bad sites, and then you get advertisements. They're never reliable. I'm telling you, $5 a month, and you don't have to worry. On your phone, your laptop, you get multiple devices.
The links. Then the guy is about to score the goal, and it stops.
Yeah, no, don't use any bad links, illegal links. Just download Paramount Plus.
For me, it's a lifesaver, because when I'm on the road, when I'm driving, when I'm here, and I just stop everything, and all I do is just press boom, live, and then the game is right in front of me.
I'm sure your wife loves that.
And I put the blinkers on, bim, 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 bim.
You say that for the whole half at least, right?
No,
You're the reason why there's traffic.
I shut everybody down, and I watch my game. I mean, there's only an emergency. Otherwise, I'll make all my moves to make sure that I can just be somewhere and enjoy the game.
Right over here.
At the studio.
You do stop, right? When
I
you're
do
in the
stop,
car.
yeah.
Okay.
Bravo.
So what I do is I listen. It's like it's a radio.
Yeah.
I don't watch it. I put it underneath and I listen. And I feel like, it's like you're listening on the, and you know what's going on.
You know in live time, because then you don't have to keep checking the score.
Right.
I did that when we were driving today. Anyway, guys, make sure you go
before
use
you go
that
ahead,
Paramount
Marco,
Plus.
yesterday I was driving to Joe Golino, our friend, and I had the game on. I had the Torino's game and Napoli on, because it was at 12 o'clock. And then my wife was, you watching the game? I said, no, I'm listening, because that's what Gaetano said. I'm listening to the game. At the same time, the game was going on. And once in a while, I was just speaking on. But,
so she couldn't get you in trouble, right? You didn't get in trouble.
No, not really, because, if you just...
you're used to getting in trouble.
Regardless, I'm in trouble anyway.
Guys, so let's move on to the weekend, because this weekend, I'm telling you, I don't know, I felt like I learned a lot. Inter lost to Lazio in pretty crazy fashion. I was not expecting that. Milan won in a match that probably last year. Last year, actually, they were down 2-0 and they went to 2-2. And then Napoli, 8 wins in a row. And Juventus beat Roma, and it's starting to feel like they're coming back. I mean, Inter won the league last year. Juve is only 3 points behind them in that Champions League spot, close to Champions League spot. So, and then we just watched Fiorentina lost to Venezia. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's finish off on Milan, since we already basically spoke everything about it. But I do want to give credit to Castillejo. There was a beautiful story that we posted about. He was in tears after the match. And, the guy has been through a lot. He said that these tears represent everything that I've gone through and everything that I'm still going through. He said last year, or he said even my mother didn't even want me at one point, jokingly, obviously saying how, like, Milan fans didn't want him. He deactivated his Twitter account because he was getting too much harsh, negative feedback constantly online. And now to be able to put in a real MVP performance, like, you can say what you want about, his skill rate or whatever, but the guy really does give his heart and soul for the team, and he's determined. And you can't take away from that. I always think that for the teams that we support, when you go out there and you sweat for the shirt, that's the most important thing. And now the quality's backing with him. And the last thing I'll say about Milan is that really it feels like there's a magic in the air for Milan to really go all the way. And I'm feeling it for them this year. They had no business coming back into that match. Most other seasons they would not have, but they did. And that really shows their strength. Also, Giroud, I listened to Giroud's interview after the match. What a team player he is. I mean, he really puts the team in front of himself, in front of the individual. It feels like he really loves AC Milan. He was even speaking in Italian in the post-match press conference. So overall, my credit to Pioli, who, again, everybody at this table, 99% of the people watching, they might want to say that they didn't think this, but we all had doubts about Pioli when he first joined AC Milan. what a leader he's proving to a very important team. Anything else that we didn't discuss about AC Milan?
I think to pick up on what you just said, the psychology is a factor that nobody really factors into the DNA of a team like AC Milan, like Juventus, like la Juventus di Allegri. So right now, this AC Milan team is becoming Milan di Pioli. You know, I had my doubts. I have to be honest with you. I had my doubts about him, and I think I'm changing little by little. I'm just learning that. You don't just rush on judgment on,
Is that why you
on
grow out
anybody.
the beard a little bit?
Well, I had things to do, so I was not able to shave this morning, and I had a rash. So anyway,
Can you grow it out for Pioli? If he wins a league, can you grow out your beard like him?
can I grow it? But yeah, sure I can. But if I shave it, I look a little younger than him. So because believe it or not, when I grow my beard, a lot of people that think I'm related to him.
I know.
So,
There's a couple of sides.
serious,
we can
serious.
mention.
I thought they
a few
see
of
you
them.
even
coach.
Saki,
I they're like, okay, they're not related.
somebody at some point thought that I looked like Saki, and then I look like Pioli. I mean, I'm un sosia, okay? That's what they call it. Sosia, what is it called? Double? Yeah, the sosia in Italy is called a double.
A twin.
So I'm not a double, but anyway. So Pioli,
A doppio.
un doppione. So Pioli is really surprising a lot of people, myself in primis. And like I said yesterday, we met one of his best friend.
Can you say who he was?
Can I say his name is Enrico?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a spectacular guy. He's in New York for different kind of business, but we enjoy spending a
Who
lot.
did he work with?
He worked with Pioli and with Saki.
He was
Yeah.
the assistant, right?
He was assistant of Saki.
Forgot the most important part.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, he was
Oh,
with Sasha.
I'm
and-
trying to bring context.
Well,
to
I
the-
just sent you the contents from the interviews that we had. It was very, very, very. He put us at ease, and we were best friends. We knew each other for 70 years.
Maybe he thought you were Pioli or Saki.
And you know
That's
what?
why.
You know what? Him and I, we think the same way. We listen. When you're
Hey,
gonna
Stefano, what are you doing over here? What are you doing in Jersey?
Listen, when you're gonna listen to the footing that I send it to you, we have exactly almost the same mentality. At least 90% about what we.
I want
And
to
what are you
ask the
laughing
guy.
at?
He's gonna be like, I can't.
Why are you laughing?
I feel like we asked Enrico's like, I couldn't wait to leave the house.
I don't know if I want to meet him anymore.
Oh yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Another Anto.
Yes,
I don't know
you
if we
do.
can deal with
So,
that. That's hilarious.
Enrico and his wife were spectacular, and maybe down the line we're gonna meet him again. We're gonna go to dinner with Aldo.
Can we get Pioli on the podcast?
I think there is a very good possibility because him they're best friend. So
I don't know
we'll
if
see.
you and him are allowed to be in the same room together. It might be too much.
He's a good guy. I'll tell you. You're gonna actually, if you want to meet him, you're gonna have to just come through me right now because
got
you know
power.
there is a fee that you have to pay, all that kind of stuff.
Look at this. All of a sudden.
I got connection.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh,
Let's talk about Inter, the Inter game, because that was the craziest game. Inter went up 1-0, and I feel like for me, Inter last year with Conte, when they went up 1-0, it was already in the back of my head. I said, okay, it's very hard for Inter to throw away a game. They usually know how to suffer, how to manage a win, how to really grind it out. And I know you have criticized Conte for being defensive and he puts the wall behind, whatever, but he always got the win. So it was already in the back of my head that that's what Inter would do. Lazio have been so up and down. When they've been good, they've been amazing. When they've been bad, they've been really poor. But what a comeback from Sarri's men. Truly a team that knew how to suffer, how to fight. Felipe Anderson was unbelievable. What a player. Sarri wanted him, and he put in work. And really, Inter, the point that I was trying to get at, crumbled right after the goals. They crumbled. I don't know what happened from there. That did not look like the same Inter that won the Scudetto last year. And it's very funny that even Mike Grella pointed out, my last point, Mike Grella was saying, Lazio against the big teams show up. Against the small teams, they don't. Roma's the opposite. Roma against the big teams, they're not showing up. Against the small teams, they are. What were we going to say?
No, I was going to say that somebody on this podcast said limone. That's the limone Inzaghi. Is that? Do you have anything to do with that?
Me?
Yeah.
Look at this guy here.
what
the
is,
one.
what's limone? What is that?
It's a lemonade. Lemon Inzaghi when
never heard of that.
So Antonio gave Inzaghi a new name, and is calling him Limone Inzaghi. And I think that's part of the when you say that Inter they look so bad. I feel like Inzaghi does not have it to motivate them and to make him play with that passion. he wins some games, but then he's not consistent. I never liked Inzaghi, and I don't know the team. He's got the players. He has the players to be up there, but he's losing too many points right now.
We can't throw it all under the bus because
you
in
lose,
the beginning of the
you're
match,
losing Hakim and you lose even Lukaku. I mean, you
come
have
on,
to
they
factor
still
that in.
have enough talent to do much better. And then the thing that upsets me a lot is Lautaro. What the hell was he complaining about? He had the ball. Why didn't he throw the ball out?
On the second goal you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. When they complained that Lazio should have thrown the ball out because the marker was on the floor. But Inter had the ball when he went down. So why didn't they throw the ball out? Why? Because they wanted to go and score the goal. Now that Lazio's got the ball and they're going down and they're trying to score the goal, now you got to throw the ball out. No,
some would say that he didn't
realize.
see it.
No, he didn't realize. Well,
that's funny.
No, you know what happens? What happens if it was the other way around? Some of his teammates, they wave, hey, throw the ball out.
Yeah.
Throw the ball
Why
out.
didn't they?
They wave at each other.
Why didn't they?
Because you see somebody on the ground, and if the player didn't see it, the teammates get involved. And they say throw the ball out. But they didn't get involved because they wanted to score the goal.
But wasn't it unsportsmanlike from Lazio to not put the ball out?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely
it wasn't
not.
a head injury.
Because a few years...
injuries when the referee has to
a few years ago, okay?
Bielsa, you're talking about Bielsa, right?
A few years ago, every 5 minutes, you know what happened? You winning the game. We are teammates. We winning the game. You go down. You know what I do? I throw the ball out. Yeah. And it happened all the time. So what happens now? Now you're wasting time because now the other team gets the ball.
Has to give you the ball back.
They have to give me the ball back, and the ball goes another 30, 40 yards. That happened a lot. So what they said is, okay, we will let the referee make the call. If the referee calls it, then you stop the game. If the referee doesn't call it, you play on. I mean, if there's a head injury, then you got to stop. Now you get hit in the stomach, you get hit in the leg, and you put your hands. That's another thing. They put their hands. Everybody puts their hands in the head because they want to stop the game. There's too much stoppage.
I think it's a technicality that they're learning how to do it. They are actually using that thing as an expedient.
There is too much stoppage, especially the last 10 minutes of the game. That's all they have. They're always on the floor. If you're winning.
Yeah.
So. No, I don't think there was no sportsman. I think the game should have gone on, and next time they should know better.
Mike?
No. I think for that...
Anything different than what he said?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Lazio, first of all, outplayed Inter. They look like a completely different side. And Lazio, like I've been saying, I feel like all season that they perform for the big teams, don't perform this game. The last time they won in the derby, then they lost 3-0 to Bologna. Now they play Verona next. Watch them drop some more points over there. I don't know whether how long it's gonna take. I don't know if it's just in Lazio's mentality or it's gonna take a little bit more time for Sarri to really, show them that every game really matters, and we're gonna see the Lazio that we always thought we'd see, especially with that world-class midfield.
And should Lazio have put the ball out on that goal?
Probably, but matches like these are so high tense, high pressure and stuff like that. But I do think they probably should have hit it out.
Antonio?
No, I totally disagree.
If you're Lazio, you putting the ball out?
No, absolutely not.
Mike would, you would not?
No.
Absolutely not.
I would also say, to be honest with you, I was saying do not put the ball out. Obviously, the rule clearly states that he doesn't have. The referee will only call if it's a serious injury or if it's a head injury. We understand that. What they're saying is that sportsmanlike, they should have put the ball out. I'm okay with playing on that play specifically. Also for the way that it happened, for Lautaro going there, going forward. I know that maybe he didn't see it, but for me, you got to keep playing on. Otherwise, we're getting to a risky. We're going down a bad path. Lautaro plays on. You gotta let Lazio play on it and play that advantage.
Someone made a comment about this because they said if it's so blatant that you took advantage of somebody being injured and then you went on, you were on a 10 against 11 against 10 situation, and then everybody realized that was not the sportsmanship things to do or the right thing to do. Then on the past, only I think it was a Bielsa, somebody just named this Bielsa. I said, hey, if you really took advantage of a situation that really was not the things that everybody was expecting to do. What you do, you allow the other team to just to put the ball back into the net of the opposite team and start fresh. But in this particular case, I think the Lazio had all the rights to do what they did.
If that happened in Italy, there would be turmoil.
I know.
If Sarri told his men to put the ball into the back of the net the opposite way, I don't even want to know what would happen.
So all of this protest with Andanovic, with Lautaro and everybody, just jumping up and down, and it's just way too much. And I think the tension was over the top, and I think Lazio didn't steal anything from Inter.
Okay, so what is it that's for this week? Again, I keep saying it felt to me it's the first time that I predicted Inter was going to win the league, but it's the first time I have my doubts. I say, you know what? Maybe this Inter with Inzaghi is not as secure as the one with Conte. Because for me, Conte last year would not have lost these points. And I know it's Sarri that has Lazio, and we got to give them respect because they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant with Felipe Anderson over there. But Sarri still needs time also. This is not, okay, they win it. Okay, it's good. He still needs time. You're still not seeing that Sarri play, which we said, give him half a season, 6-7 months to be able to see. But did anyone else? No, you didn't have it. You guys had Inter winning the title, I think. Do you have doubts at this point?
Yes, and I knew from the beginning that I never liked Inzaghi. I didn't like Inzaghi when he was with Lazio. Because he will win a couple of games, very tough game, and then he will lose to the games that he should have won. So he's not a big time coach, and I don't understand why I put him first.
That's funny.
Oh, you did put him first?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
You want to change again? What about you? You want to change again your standing?
I don't think that's fair.
Look, at the end of the day, it's so early. It's not even 10 games in, so it's easier to think like, oh, it's one game. I think after a couple of months, when other teams taste defeat, I think Inter is the team that's going to be like, we've been here before, we drop points, and now, they still have most of their squad at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Let's, stay together, and I feel like they can, whether it be by 2 points or 5 points, I still think they have what it takes to win the league.
The prediction game is ridiculous, because I can honestly make a case for like 3 or 4 teams. You can make a case that Milan, that Napoli, that Inter, or even Juventus are still in it. Honestly, I would say those 4 teams, it is so hard to predict who's actually going to go on to win it, which makes it even more unbelievable.
Well, you predict Inter to win, right? The 3 of you, right?
That's what we just said.
No, and you're different.
And you got Milan.
I'm AC Milan.
You're not right yet.
No, I didn't because I don't believe in.
You're a big fan of AC Milan.
No, even if I wasn't a fan of AC Milan, I would put AC Milan.
That's fair.
Because
respect.
I looked at the quality. I look at the structure of the team, and I don't look at all of those things that you
have
guys
more quality than anyone else in the league?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
you guys are watching the dollar amount that you have inside your team.
No.
Oh, we got Lautaro, we got this, we got
Listen,
this.
Predicting
Let me ask
last
you-
year's champions.
Let me ask you something. Where did you put Napoli?
4th, I believe.
You put it
The second
4th
time.
or 5th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, it's too early, and everybody
Okay.
can make a mistake, but at least
But you,
But except
you don't
us.
make.
Except us. Anyway, let's talk about Napoli, because Napoli are ridiculous. 8 wins out of 8. They're equaling Maurizio Sarri's the best ever record of Napoli with 8 wins in a row, where he did it in 2017, 2018, that magic season where they almost went on to win the Scudetto. What a team. Against Torino, where they had a penalty that was saved. I think it was Koulibaly had an opportunity that might have been him that was saved off the line. Torino's a very tricky team that we know has been giving difficulties for a lot of the big boys. And it felt like, oh my God. We were saying, it felt like kind of by the scoreline, how late it was going, that they were never going to score. But we were sitting in the green room, and I was like, guys, I'm telling you right now, Napoli's 100% going to score. Again, there's just an air. There's something in the air that you know that they are going to score and they are going to win these games. I want to see Napoli against a big team. Like, I want to see a big opponent, how they match up. But what a squad they have at their disposal.
I think they're gonna crack soon.
Everybody's
Michael,
complimenting.
can you compliment first?
They're gonna
No,
crack.
100%. I mean, we're talking about on the live stream also. We feel like this time last season, if they had, a different coach, whether it be Sarri or Gattuso, the ball just didn't want to go in the back of the net and be like, oh, they dropped their points. That's it. How are they going to recover from this? They hit the post. They missed the penalty. They missed 2 big chances. They'd be like, most of these teams would be like, yo, just not our night. But they still managed to do it. They still managed to get the 3 points. They still managed to be 8 out of 8. Spalletti came here. I feel like he's on a real mission, and he really has a locker room. He's built such an incredible atmosphere over here. And a lot of people don't really rate Spalletti. But I feel like under the right conditions, and he got players that he wants, and he seems very happy in that in the atmosphere. I feel like he can do something special, and so far he's done incredible. And I really think Napoli are the team to beat. I mean, the most informed. They're the only team in top 5 leagues that are 8 out of 8 have 100% record, and I just think that means so much. And there's still time to say, like, when they do drop points, because they're not going to go undefeated. Let's be for real. How they can react after that. But as of now, great job by Napoli. I'm loving it. I'm on the Napoli train 100%, and I'm on it for the ride. Hopefully till the end of the season.
Before you criticize, please.
I'm not saying anything.
I know. One second. Osimhen has 8 goals in his last 7 matches in all competitions. How good has Osimhen been?
Well, this guy, whoever decided to get Osimhen, what a player! I mean, the guy he's got everything. He's got speed. He's got technique. He fights for the ball. There was one ball where he went back like 30 or 40 yards to win a ball in midfield. I mean, the guy is really, really good. And you know what? It's incredible. It's that center line when you start from Koulibaly, Anguissa, and Osimhen. Wow. And Ospina has been, even
Incredible,
though, I always said about Meret, but Ospina is a good goalkeeper. So you got Ospina, Koulibaly, Anguilla, and Osimhen. That's the backbone of that team.
And that backbone's not going to be there, January.
And that team, in the past, when you have so many chances, you miss a penalty, they hit the post, usually the other team goes back and you get a goal and you lose the game. But this team, no. This team fought until the end to get that win. Good job by Spalletti. Spalletti, please get somebody else to take penalties, okay? Insigne out. He's missed 2 penalties in a row. And Mike, how many did he miss last year?
5 was 5 out of 8.
5 out of 8?
I thought
7, I think.
Okay, so this guy is less than 50% probably on the penalty. Get somebody else to take the penalty, please. And one more thing, De Laurentiis, please don't say a word. Please stay quiet. Don't ruin the team, because you've done it in the past by your comments and by penalties that you gave to the players, and then they didn't want to play for you anymore.
Okay,
so stay out.
Is that my turn?
One last question. How do you think that they'll cope without that? You just named the trio: Koulibaly, Anguissa, Osimhen. How do you think they'll cope with AFCON?
They better get enough points now and go like 10 points ahead of everybody. Well, they're 10 points, I think, from Juventus.
8.
From the second...
8 or 10.
10 points.
10.
From the second team, I think there are 7 points, 17 to 24.
No, 2 from the third. First and third is...
Sorry, for the third. They're from Inter.
Yeah.
7 points from Inter.
2 points from Milan.
10 points from Juventus.
Yeah, that's not enough.
And then all of their African player teams, they got to go out right away. So they only miss like 3 games.
But Milan too have some Benacer and Kessie that are going to go to Africa.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
It's Antonio's turn. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. The problem is that you guys are just looking at the celebrity all the time. It's one of those celebrities that Gaetano said is the backbone of Napoli. If one of those here cracks, let's say Osimhen, they're dependent. This team here is dependent on those 3 people, like you just said. It could be Osimhen right on top over there, could be Koulibaly over there, or could be Anguissa, okay? But you didn't name one of the best midfielders that they have, okay? So that one is big. So one of those cracks, I think Napoli, you can just fold it. Napoli does not have the structure that AC Milan has. AC Milan is a team. Napoli right now is playing off some of 2 or 3 individuality that they make the difference for the entire team right now. If one of those 3, like you said, or 2 of those 3, they come down, or they come down with they slow down, or they have some injuries, or for some reasons they don't perform at their best level, Napoli I think is going to slow.
Listen, I only mentioned 3 guys plus the goalie. I didn't mention Di Lorenzo, who plays for the national team. I didn't mention Fabian Ruiz, who plays. Fabian Ruiz was a great player. I didn't mention about Insigne. I didn't mention about
Lozano, Politano,
Zelinski, Politano.
Mertens.
So it's not, to win 8 games in a row. It's not just the 3. Those 3 have been very, very good. And Anguilla is a big surprise. Anguissa is Anguilla. Is a big surprise for me because I didn't know where he came from, and it looks like this guy has been playing in Serie A for years. Because usually there is a time of adjustment when you go to a league. Everybody there's an adjustment time. This guy looks like he's been playing for. So to go back to you, it's not only those 3 players. Around them, they have good players too.
But as far as the team, the AC Milan is more team than Napoli. Okay. AC Milan, he has the team. Napoli is filled up all of those individuality that at some point you plug one here. This is out. Just put.
I disagree with you.
Well, listen, this is what I think. I think AC Milan as a structure and as a team, they play like, it's beautiful to watch it.
I do agree with you, Anto, in the sense that Milan have faced more problems in terms of injuries and people being out, and they still managed to get over that hump. We haven't seen, it's not fair to say that about Napoli because we haven't seen that about them. So when the time comes in January, whether it be earlier, if they can cope like they did with Milan, because if they can cope like they do with Milan, then they're gonna be in contention to the last few match days. I think
2v1 now. What, are you gonna take that?
Huh?
It's 2v1 now.
Who's 2v1?
It's them 2 against
Why?
you.
You don't
no,
count?
it's not.
I didn't say my opinion.
I'm just saying both sides.
I'm waiting for you.
No, I think that also one other aspect that I have to side with the Milan part over there is that Milan also played tougher matches, I would say. I mean, Milan played against Juventus,
Lazio.
which they played against Lazio too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and we beat them 2-0.
You played. I feel like, and I don't have it right in front of me. I could do it as we speak. But for just off the top of my head, I feel like Milan have had tougher matches, whereas Napoli, they've played Torino, Fiorentina, Cagliari, Sampdoria, Udinese.
We won against Atalanta too.
Juventus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Genoa, Venezia. Okay, so I was wrong. I forgot that they played against Juventus. Milan have played against Verona, Atalanta, Spezia, Venezia, Juventus, Lazio, Cagliari, Sampdoria.
Yeah, so slightly tougher.
Just I think only Atalanta and Lazio I would add to that.
Yeah.
So maybe they played 2 more tough games.
Yeah, that counts.
But
It's a big-
to the same point, they've had a crazy injury / COVID crisis that could have crippled a lot of teams. But it is early to see with Napoli. So it's like 2.5v1 right now. But anyway, let's move on. Is there any other game besides Juventus Roma?
Can we talk about the Fiorentina's game? I actually factored Fiorentina to win this game. And actually I put Fiorentina by standing by themselves with 15 points. Yeah, no, I bet. I factored myself. I said they can have the win against Venezia. There is no way with a team like that, especially the way the Fiorentina has been playing the last few games. I said this is a win-win situation for them. Mm-hmm. And then I was watching the game again on the car on Paramount Plus, and I
Not watching, listening.
No, watching, because at some point I pulled over and I watched.
Okay.
So when the game gets tough, you have to just, you have to stop.
Put your blinkers on, right?
Put the blinkers on.
I got a flat tire.
And and I watched the game. So, and very surprised that Venezia just pulled this thing through. Again, no, this is what Gaetano was saying before we started the podcast. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of factors that conditioning some of the top players. Not just Vlahovic, we saw Insigne, we see Spalletti just clapping at him and say, don't worry about it, don't worry. So in other words, it's a lot of rumors that are, I think, affecting some of the top players that we have in Serie A. Missing penalties and not performing at the top of their ability and their skills can be tricky from time to time. So it's what your father was saying about the ownership. They said, just leave the players, let them do their job, and then talk about business when the time is ripe to talk about business.
The first time that Venezia win at home in their stadium for 19 years. 19 years and 8 months, like over 7,000 days. And the last time that they won that match, who did they play?
Fiorentina.
Crazy.
What do you mean 19 years?
Since they won at their home.
In Serie A at home.
Serie A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was
like, how did they get promoted?
So I was disappointed. I mean, Fiorentina has been kind of like the dark horse, our little like joy, because they've been playing so good with Mister Italiano. But we were saying, how does the team get affected by this? Obviously, these all the rumors with Vlahovic that he's not going to be renewing. It's basically confirmed now, as both Comiso said he's not going to renew. Vlahovic's agent said there's nothing on the table. We're not renewing anymore. How does that affect the team? We were just watching the highlights. I think their first shot on target came in like the 85th minute.
Yeah, I would have leave him alone, you know, and I think it's going to bring some negativity into the spogliatoio, in the locker room and in the field. And I feel like if he misses a goal and he's playing in Florence, that's going to go after him. So he's 21 years old. I would have avoided that. And with Italiano, Fiorentina was playing... they were playing that soccer, that aggressive soccer in the first half. They were all over the other team. And the other team was like, they were shocked. Hey, is this Fiorentina? Yeah, this is Fiorentina. They have a new mentality. They're running their asses off. And then what happened with a couple of times is in the second half, late in the second half, after you do that for an hour, 60 minutes, and of course you cannot do it for 90 minutes. So then you slow down, and that's what happened with Inter, and that's what happened, you know, with the other teams. So I didn't see the game today, so I don't know what happened. Probably watch it later a little bit. So I don't know what happened. Did they start like they usually start, very aggressive, offensively, high pressure? I'm not sure. I would like to see that. But I saw the highlights, and they never took a shot on goal. I don't know. You know, they never took a shot on target. There were some shots here taken in there, but so. And I saw the face of Vlahovic. Usually this guy's got fire in the belly, fire in his face. And for the first time today, that I didn't see that fire. I might be mistaken. I hope I'm
reading too much into it also.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm mistaken on that. So let's leave it. But let's wait. I think that Italiano is a good coach, and I think he knows what to do for the next game to pick them up.
I just wish we could it's the first time that Fiorentina has a team.
Yeah.
They have a really good team that should finish in the top half of the table, top 10. And I would wish that all the outside stuff could just be quiet and we just let Fiorentina play.
Let them play.
And let's see how good this team could come. His contract ends in 2023. We sort it when it gets closer to there. There's Insigne, whose contract ends in 2022. There's Mbappe, who ends in 2022. There's Pogba, whose contract ends this summer. Kessie ends this summer. And while there is talk about those guys...
Romagnoli that you guys want too, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Romagnoli I'm not going to include in there.
No.
But those guys, I'm saying top players, like the top players for their teams. I feel like there's not even as much talk about them, as there is with Vlahovic, who has another year on top of those guys. So I just wish, for Fiorentina's sake, it goes under the rug. They figure it out. They say, okay, guys, we'll figure this out. We'll see what happens in the summer. And we can focus on him scoring, because he's got to start scoring more goals. He scored 21 last year. What does he have, 4 or 5 this year? And I think all of them except one have come from the penalty spot. So we need the guy to score goals, because that's what Fiorentina needs.
Aren't you guys the top candidate to take Vlahovic in Torino, to bring him to Torino? That's why you're talking like that.
I mean, I'm not in on the deal.
Oh, you're not into the deal?
No.
Okay. But I think you're salivating at the idea that he might come to Torino.
I almost just drooled right now. You want to say something to you?
Say it.
No, I was going to say, what happens if he goes to AC Milan?
Well, I don't know if we really need him.
Oh, you don't need him?
No. Listen, if you're coming to AC Milan, first of all...
all right, for the ones that are listening, for the people that are listening, would you take Vlahovic at AC Milan?
Okay, let me answer to you, because I'm listening to you too.
Now he's going to change this.
Okay, first of all, we do not have the money to pay the salary that is demanding, number one. Number two, it's going to create more problem for us. Number three, we have plenty of Jews right on top of there. We have Ibrahimovic, even though it's going to probably be the last year. We got Giroud, we got Brahim Diaz, we got Leao, we got Rebic, and a couple other kids. Maldini's son is coming up big. It's not a
Talking
forward.
about a center forward.
All right, take it
We're
easy.
talking about a center forward. You don't have a center forward.
We are shopping. We are shopping
if this
in a
is
cheaper market.
If this is Ibra last
right.
year,
Not quite on shop right, but we
pay
shop.
less.
Pay less. Pay less is probably the best way.
if Ibra, if like you say, Ibra, this is his last year. Which center forward do you have? You have one center forward, and it's Giroud. And if you're going to play in the Champions League, you're going to play with one center forward,
Gaetano,
which is Giroud, which doesn't start.
between now and the end of the year, too many things they're gonna happen. So I let things sort out that by themselves. We're gonna make the game come to us. We're not going to the game. Let them all fight. He's going here, he's going there, and then whoever is left over. We have a very smart people. Maldini, it's not just smart; it's extremely smart.
And Gazidis
He's gonna make everybody else fight. And then when all the dust is gonna settle, he's gonna say,
Then you're going to lose Donnarumma.
No, well, you see? Oh, you laughing? Oh, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
We haven't lost anything. We got Magnan. Even though he's injured right now, we got Magnan. And you're going to regret it, okay? You're going to regret the comment that you make because Donnarumma right now is playing on and off in
gotta start the
PSG.
podcast with that.
You know what I mean? He's playing on and off PSG. And I have a big heart. I mean, I love the kid. Hey, there's nothing that I...
You were one of the ones whistling him, no?
No, I love Donnarumma, even though he didn't. I mean, the fact that you guys were going to snatch it from us, I like the fact that he didn't go to Juventus or didn't go to Inter. I would have loved if he would have gone to Roma or Napoli, any other teams. But Juventus, Inter, I would have a problem with
Gotcha.
that. But nevertheless,
Can
Donnarumma is still.
Let's just
part
close
of
this. One question, because this came into my mind the past couple of days. We saw another striker do amazing in his first year, or his first year in a calendar year in Serie A. He made a very big move to a big team, a great team, where he started off really well again. And then all of a sudden, we forgot about this guy even existing. Does anyone know who I'm talking about?
Piontek.
Lukaku.
Piontek. So, do you think, and I'm just tossing this out there, I'm not saying that they're the same. Do you think that Vlahovic risks kind of being like a Piontek for a top team? Because, by the way, they're saying that they had a 60 million euro offer. They didn't accept it. So that means you're going to have to spend at least 65, 70, 75 million if you want Vlahovic. Is that too much of a risk for a guy who only did it in the Serie A one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I would say that the offer that was made to the Fiorentina, it could be if you put it back on the table with the factor. If you factor in that Vlahovic no longer wants to stay in Florence, they might very well take it. I mean, the 60 million euro that you were offered, and now you know that the player, he didn't go to Commisso and said, "Hey, listen, I wanted to stay here, Rocco, I want to stay here." So he's unhappy. So Commisso is going to say, "You know what? He wants to go. We don't want to keep anybody unhappy over here."
No,
Just
but he
let him
wants
go.
90 million.
90. It's not going to get 90. I would say 65.
Would you take 60?
70 is a great. It's a great.
No, Commisso is not going to take it.
Would you take 60?
I would.
Are you kidding
I
me? You're
would.
thinking about that? Oh my God.
Why, Mike?
He had one good season.
I think what they're scared of is
mean-
also Chiesa. Arguably Chiesa
Yeah.
was not doing well in Fiorentina.
Right, Chiesa,
we all
nice
criticized
workout.
him. We all said that he can't score goals, right? He had like
100
2-3
million.
goals. And then they sold for what now looks like a steal of a price. That he's double the price of what they paid for him.
I believe
For a guy that wasn't even doing great.
I believe it was 70 million that they rejected. And I think Atletico
60 million. The agent confirmed that it's 60
It
million.
was 60. Okay. At the end of the day, yes, he's young, but he also scored 21 goals. It's very hard to replicate a season like that. So to be honest, I probably would have sold him. And what I was scared of, if he stayed another season, if he could replicate it, I'm scared that it might happen this season where it's gonna fall flat like it did with Piontek, like it did with Belotti, and I'm sure there's many other. No, not Icardi. Icardi's good. There's more other players that out there that I mentioned. But let's see. It's still very early, but not a very good start from him.
By the way, just to confirm too, the offer that they got, I mean, it was like a couple of days before the Mercato ended or a week before. So I understand Fiorentina's position. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You do not sell your best player right when the transfer market is closing.
Ask me if I would take Icardi. That's a player I would take instead of Vlahovic. I would take Icardi.
Wanda doesn't come with him anymore, so I don't think you're going to want.
Okay, I'll take him.
Anymore.
I'll take him. Don't worry.
Let's talk about last game that we're going to talk about. Juventus Roma, 1-0 win for Juventus. Moise Kean scored one of the best goals I've ever seen in my life. What a great goal that the guy scored, and gave Juventus the win. Nobody even reacted to that. Nobody even batted an eye.
Well, we know that.
That was a little corny.
I'm just gonna. All right, Mike, take over from here.
No, I mean, everyone's probably, once we're talking about, everyone's about to scream. Talk about the controversy. Talk about the controversy. But before we talk about that, Roma, I think, started the game off very well, and I was the first 10 minutes, and I was like, wow, Roma are really pressing. Juve are flat-footed. Juve aren't doing anything. Mourinho might have something. Then it started fading away. Then Juve started taking control. They held the ball more. They slowed down the tempo and kind of killed the momentum from Roma. Then they ended up getting a goal from a beautiful cross by Castillejo. By the way, Castillejo, probably the best game I ever seen him play in my life. It was a deflection. Mark was saying it was a deflection from Bentancur. It hit Moise Kean and it went in. He celebrated like crazy. Then we saw the replay. I was like, whoa, it hit off him last second. But I think Allegri played the perfect game plan in the sense that he got an early goal, controlled the game, played very good defense with a rare occurrence of Chiellini making a mistake, then stuff that happened afterwards. And Juve just grinded it out. A classic Juventus vintage win that we've seen countless amount of times with this Allegri. And they've done it with Chelsea. They've done it a bunch, not just this season. And overall, I think Roma didn't... There was a few players that didn't really step up to the play. We saw Zaniolo came out early.
Such as?
Pellegrini was completely invisible. Mkhitaryan didn't make as big as an impact that I wanted. Abraham was very secluded up front. The only chance he really had was like from the mistake that Juve made. They tried to take advantage of. And I think Mourinho made late substitutions, which I think really cost Roma. And him blaming post-match, he blamed the bench, saying, the bench wasn't deep enough. What I read between the lines, what he said. I think he had quality players on the bench that he could have brought on, like Perez, Shomurodov earlier. He could have brought on Borja Mayoral, that I think really are difference makers. You could say aren't top class like they have in their lineup, but I think they could have made something. And I think I would put this on Mourinho. I think by Mourinho waiting so long, the game was practically over, and Juve knows our masters at closing out the games. He should have done something earlier. And Juve get a classic win, and they close out the game.
Yeah. Not to repeat anything that Mike said, I almost 99% agree with everything that you said. The thing that I would add, too, is it's funny, when we were watching the game, everyone was going crazy when Roma was dominating, but it reminded me exactly of the Chelsea game. And after 5 minutes, I said, you play into Juventus' hands when you play like that. This Allegri, and I know we were all saying, we heard from Allegri's friends that it's going to be Allegri that attacks, and he's going to go forward, and he's going to be bombing forward. And maybe we kind of tried to see that in the beginning, and then he said, you know what, we just got to win games. And he went back to his roots on how he started with Juventus, how he won 5 Scudetti, was similar way. Roma, keep all the possession, have the momentum. I knew Juventus was going to score on one counter-attacking play, and then once Juventus got that one goal, it was hard for Roma to come back. I don't want to talk about the controversy yet, but Allegri, again, this game was very crucial. This game was so crucial because Juventus, they just beat Sampdoria, Chelsea, Torino. It started to feel like the momentum was coming back for Juventus fans, right? If you lose this game or if you don't win this game, it's like a balloon that pops. You're like, come on, we had to have won this game. Now that you win this game, you start calculating that you're 3 points behind the Inter. Oh my God, you know what? The season could turn around, this and that. Psychologically, that is so important for the players. What did you think?
Well, there was a great expectation to this game. I mean, 2 great coaches. They both are winning coaches. They both know how to let the players follow them. So I was expecting a lot. When the game started, Roma had a good tempo. They were playing, they were passing the ball, they were a little bit faster. Then I thought the game changed when Zaniolo got hurt. I feel like when Zaniolo had about 2 or 3 times, he got the ball outside the area, he went like 50 yards, 60 yards, boom, 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 and then he passed it on, and I think it was Pellegrini took a nice shot, and they were playing. Once Zaniolo went out, and then the goal came, and Roma disappeared. And that's when the character has to come up with Pellegrini and with Mkhitaryan. But they had the chance to tie the game. And I feel like Juventus was waiting, very slow, building up, long balls from one side to the other side. But if they tied the game, that could have ended up a tie game. I felt like Allegri, when the second half started, he tried to win the game for 10 minutes. He tried, they had some chances. Bernardeschi had a couple of chances. Also, Keane had a nice chance. And once that did not score, that's it. Let's just wait and close everything.
Dirty. Yeah.
And both coaches, they really do not care if it looks pretty or if it doesn't look pretty. What matters for them is the results. We win the game, we get the 3 points. If it doesn't look good, they don't care.
I agree 1,000,000% with your father. Very rarely, but again,
you say
that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how rare it is.
Yeah.
You say it.
You said that every podcast.
Mourinho to me resembles Inzaghi in a way that against the big team, Mourinho is failing. He fell against Lazio and he fell against Juventus. Okay, you bring somebody like Mourinho to win the big games. Okay, so if you fell against those 2 big teams right now, we are just at the beginning, and then you make the game not about the soccer game. He makes the game about himself, because all he does, he throws the attention away from all the games and the players, and he brings all the focus on himself. He's starting to make all of the shows on the sideline, and he's starting to argue with the ref, he's starting to argue with il quarto uomo, and he's starting to complain about the 3 minutes were not enough, or that the goal should have been convalidated. It should never, the ref. Normally the ref they don't whistle during the stuff. They whistle and then they go look at the VAR. So there were too many things that Mourinho was. It was about to draw the attention away from the field and on himself. And I think for that I give him a lot of credit, because he's a master and he gets into the head of everybody. And that way, I think it's one of the credit that I give it to him. I don't like him. I really don't like him personally.
You don't?
No, I really don't. I think he takes the pressure away from the players, because even when Veretout missed the penalty, he was encouraging him. And he brings the pressure away from the players, from the field. He brings it all the way up himself. Like a lot of coaches, they don't do that. What they do, they turn and they just looking down. So, but Mourinho is one of the few that I've seen that like Spalletti. That one of the rare times that Spalletti was encouraging Insigne after the penalty miss. That they try to alleviate the tension from the field, and then take the tension and the attention upon themselves. Having said that, with all the respect, even though Peter is not in front of us, I wanted to ask you guys. You guys made so much fun of me when I keep saying that a lot of people, they do not take the penalty seriously when they step up to the 11 meters over there.
What does that mean?
It means
which way to go.
It means now that they take it. It means that they are expecting now the goalkeeper to make a move on the right or on the left. And all the saves that have been made recently is the goalkeeper waiting over there and just check it, because they've been saving a lot of penalties. A lot of penalties have been saved. Does that mean that we don't know to take penalties anymore? The ball is going through the middle so many times.
It's because you said it. You told everybody that 90% go in the middle.
I didn't say 90. I said about 50% of the time the people that take it through
your
the middle.
percentage change every podcast.
They're very influential, Antonio.
So,
they listen to the podcast. The goalkeepers heard it, and that's why it's overcorrecting.
So why Gaetano they taking the penalty? They're not
yes,
taking the penalty.
Well,
Guru, why?
On this particular
The guy
one,
he doesn't agree with that.
and Mike, just before the guy took the penalty, he goes, "Oh man, this guy has never missed a penalty, and he is 35 for 35, something like that."
And 27.
And as he's saying that, he's saying this guy's gonna miss.
13. I knew he was gonna miss.
Yeah,
Too much time passed.
what I didn't realize, but somebody realized, and they said in the post game, is that Abraham had the ball in his hand and he wanted to take the penalty.
Yes.
I
That's
didn't
a good
see
point.
that, and I don't know if that caused some friction.
mental-
Some
sure.
friction.
think about
And
it.
this thing lasted maybe for a minute, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a long time to think.
Right.
Lasted a while. The thing is, the VAR lasted. It was
Yeah.
a little bit of. It was taking so long on the VAR. They were already upset that the goal didn't count. Then he's got his teammate who wants to take
Yeah,
the
no,
ball.
for
Yeah.
sure.
All these little
So
doubts
that
come into your
may be,
head. You're in Torino. I think those affected him for sure because
Yeah.
he's 13 in his last 13. And my problem is not you miss a penalty, I'm fine. Like it's okay. The way he took it,
Yeah.
it was like half in the middle, half to the right.
Yeah, it
it
was
seemed
bad.
an
He was
uncertain
scared.
strike. If you blast it, into the bottom
going,
right,
man.
the goalkeeper makes it's okay. It happens, right?
Marco, even in senior penalty, come on.
The same
You take
way.
a penalty like that?
The same way.
Let's talk about the controversy though. We got to get to the bottom of this. I'll explain what happens and then we'll jump in. So Chiellini lost the ball. Tammy Abraham does an incredible work to dribble past two players, one of which is Danilo, who goes in, slides into Tammy Abraham. We think that that's a first foul. Referee's got his whistle that he's holding, by the way. Play on. Ball goes to Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan tries to go over Szczesny. Szczesny fouls Mkhitaryan. Ball lays over to Tammy Abraham. In the midst of the ball going towards Tammy Abraham, referee, who already had his whistle in his hand, he was ready after the Danilo one, by the way, blows his whistle as Tammy Abraham hits the ball into the back of the net. Now, there's a lot to break down over here, right? What has been said afterwards, the initial idea, we thought that's what we knew, which would have been an absolutely ridiculous call from the referee. Later, with super zoom in motion, whatever, Gazzetta has said it, Tutto Sport, not Corriere, it's Sky, that Mkhitaryan ended up hitting the ball with his hand towards Tammy Abraham. Now, we could say it's involuntary, he's falling down, but from my understanding, you can't, if it leads to direct goal scoring opportunity, even if it's involuntary, that can't count if it hits your hand. So the referee did make a mistake.
He did.
Because the referee, in my opinion, the referee should not have blown his whistle. Because we see many times, I could count a million, that on the offsides plays,
They wait 55
they
minutes
wait
before
so
they do it.
long, and it's so obvious, but they let the play on. The reason why we have VAR is you play on, and then we check after, right? So for me, the goal, they should have just played it on. He made a mistake because there's no way that he saw Mkhitaryan hit it with his hand. So there was a mistake from Orsato. But from my understanding, either way, if he would have had to go check the VAR, he would have seen that Mkhitaryan hit it with his hand, and it would have went to the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, he was wrong. And by the way, his reactions inside the tunnel
Was
are
horrible.
even worse.
Which
Shows a lot of
reaction? Which reaction?
Orsato's reaction
okay.
in the tunnel, where he said to, I think it was Cristante, you're putting the blame on me because you missed a penalty kick. And he also said that you never give the advantage on a penalty, which is ridiculous.
He didn't know.
What are your thoughts on this?
No, I agree with everything that you said. He made a mistake. He shouldn't have stopped the play. But at the end, the call was correct because it was a penalty. And so if he would have gone, I saw it in slow motion. And as Mkhitaryan falls, he passes the ball to Abraham. So it is a handball. So it is a penalty. At the end, the right call was made, but Orsato did make a mistake by not letting the play continue, and he also made a mistake in the locker room or near the locker room when he told Cristante, hey, on a penalty, there's no advantage.
Antonio, your opinion.
You know what? This is just, it's an episode that we shouldn't have really stretched too much. Penalty or no penalty, you missed the penalty, that's it. End of the story. I mean, what is it that you wanted to do? I mean, the guy, anybody can make a mistake. In this particular case, the fact that even if you factor in him whistling in between, which Marco said, normally we let the play go on and then we check the VAR. It does have a little said, hey, look, you see, when it's everybody else, they let the play go. When it has to do with the Roma, so that's what I was saying before, that Mourinho starting to draw the attention upon himself instead of upon the game. I think Mourinho's got no claim. And as much as I hate Juventus getting the advantage, I mean, the upper end in this particular case, a penalty is a penalty. So there was no way it will have called it, even after the VAR, they will have called it the handballs, and then they will have make him taking the penalty.
Do you disagree, Mike, at all, or same thing?
No, I think it's pretty much the same. I didn't even see the handball till after the game.
Me too.
So I couldn't even believe. So there was. It's much more, I think, complicated than a lot of people actually think. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it was a handball, and they ended up getting a penalty. So at the end of the day, the Abraham goal wouldn't even count technically if you look it over with a handball and all. But like Anto was saying, you did get the penalty, and you did miss it.
The point is that he made a mistake.
Yeah, no, 100%.
He should not have whistled.
He should have waited for the play to end.
Right.
We said on the live stream
because
too,
what happened?
100%.
What happened if Mkhitaryan did not touch the ball with his hand?
100%.
And now Abraham scored the goal. It's a 1-1 game. But now he missed the penalty. Now it's a 1-0 game, and you lose the game when you could have tied the game. Yeah. That's the point.
We're saying that on the live stream.
It also goes back to something that we had brought up on this podcast a lot with the referees and their arrogance. I mean, it was as clear as day that it's true that some of these referees are very arrogant, that they don't want to use the technology all the time, and they feel like they're in control, and they kind of want to be the center. I don't want to know a referee's name. Like, I don't want to know any referee's name. I don't even want to know that the referee's there. Just, it can't be all about the referee, and I'm sick of when that happens. And it felt like him specifically, especially with the comments on, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. I understand that a mistake can happen. Really. I understand that in that moment, the tackle from Danilo, the tackle from Szczesny, the handball, it was hard. The potential offsides, it was hard. Make a mistake, okay. But then also to double down on it, it shows that there is some arrogance amongst these guys that they kind of want it about them, which probably was the most disappointing thing in all of this.
Right. But at the same time, Marco, what do you think about the penalty that was not given to AC Milan when AC Milan was down 2-0?
What are you talking about?
I know. But that, wait. But over here, the controversy.
We finish about AC Milan. We're not talking about AC Milan.
All roads lead back to Milan.
We're talking about the referees. Marco is calling about referees. With the young referee that we had.
For the Juve Roma game.
The young referee that he was reffing at Verona AC Milan. He made a big mistake. That should have been watched.
Sorry.
There was a comment made on the post game, big player, which he said, VAR should not determine the outcome of the game.
Doesn't.
And then there was another one who's also a big time player. He goes, "What are you talking about? That's why we have VAR." If VAR sees that something is not right, you got to call. You got to go to the referee has to go to the VAR and
the players
to clarify, so that doesn't matter.
Listen,
I don't want to insult the player.
Okay, I'm gonna say the last thing because I know I'm a pain in the butt, but I'm gonna say the last thing.
Yeah, is it about AC Milan?
No.
I'm glad you realized that, Anto.
Yeah.
Can you put your arm around the thing? It's been bothering me all. Nice.
Okay.
There we go.
Listen. When the VAR is being called, okay, let's say, or the VAR makes a phone call on the referee's headphone and said, "Hey, by the way, you should be checking the play here, and there." And then the referee said, he push everybody away, just wait, vai via, stop, can't talk to you right now, and all the stuff. Why the referees takes the VAR for good, whether it's true or whether it's not? For me, he has to go and double check. Okay, if somebody's protesting. Look, Kessié takes the ball and he puts the ball outside when there was these clear handballs inside the Verona's penalty box. So if Kessié put the ball out and everybody's getting closer to the referee, then the referee pushes everybody out and said, "Why don't you go and check it? Why don't you go and check it?"
Also, joking aside, I do want to talk about that Romagnoli one for just a quick second because that was an extremely hard one to call. The penalty that Kalinic got on Romagnoli, when we were watching it live, we also saw replays.
On different angle.
And we were like 100% sure. We were all like, Romagnoli, stupid tackle. Why'd you do that? When you see the super slow-mo replay from one angle, you could tell that Kalinic...
It was the one that fouled Romagnoli.
Put his foot to hit Romagnoli, and then they get hit. So that's why even if you do see it, it can be deceiving for a referee on the field. And I know that people don't want everything to be checked, but this should be very simple for them to be able to check on the opposite side. And again, it's kind of like the same foul that we see so much, where I've seen it a million times, where a defender is just going for the ball. An attacker, because they're so smart these days, they know that everything's a foul. They'll just put their foot 2 seconds, really a millisecond before, get the foul, go to the ground, and it's always a penalty kick. And I hate those penalties so much because the guy had no chance. He had like a 10% chance at scoring. I don't mean the Verona one. I'm sorry. I'm saying in general. A lot of the times when that happens, the attacker has a very small percentage of being able to. He could be back to net, going backwards. He puts his foot in, boom, you hit him. He goes from a 10% of scoring to 90%, whatever it is.
How many times, Gaetano, you said when in doubt, check it out? So that's why the VAR is over there. You as a referee, you have that just 100% check yourself. Do not trust the VAR. The VAR has called you. I said it's a penalty, okay? Even when they tell you that it's 100% it's a penalty, you are the ref. You got to go over there and you're going to double check.
I don't know
and
about that.
Marco, come on. This is the results.
If they tell you 100%.
No, I mean.
You know what's also annoying? It's annoying that we can't all agree on something. I find it very strange that we're in a football where Tutto Sport, Gazzetta Sky will say that the one on that it was the call was a penalty kick, and Corriere will write that it wasn't a penalty kick, that the goal should have counted. Like, where are we in the state that the rules have become so complex on involuntary, voluntary, that we can't even agree on a call after we're sitting here a day after and checking it?
But Marco, Atletico AC Milan, did you see what happened? When Atletico and AC Milan, they played, Mike, you can just laugh as much as you want.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the
situation. A penalty
situation
like that can change an entire season.
No, I agree.
If we came away with 1 point in Milan against Atletico, nobody will be saying anything now.
Yeah.
Okay? You are the ref. You made a questionable call, and you said, the VAR checked it already. Yeah. And then we watch at the bottom of the screen, VAR check ended. It's a penalty. You have to go and double check. Okay, the ref.
I agree with that.
Okay, you go and double check.
It takes an extra 30 seconds, but it gives a peace of mind, I guess, at the end of the day.
Actually check it properly. I don't think the referee has to stop for every single play. If the VAR tells him, the system should just be better where the people that are checking, usually they're referees themselves that could be rotated in, they should be good enough to see the replays and then tell the referee to come and check.
But at the end of the day, for
can't check every single
I know,
one.
but at the end of the day, but for a big thing like that, it should be checked.
But
no,
why?
But even
why
for
are we
that,
so then why do we?
Because
even
it's
have this
a 96 minute, gonna change the direction of the whole game.
But why do we even have the guy in the booth over there checking? Then get rid of his job, and the referee's got to check every single one.
I think
I do agree. I mean, you have to check. I mean, how many situations, Marco? We're talking about 2-3 situations on a game.
I think just the bigger ones. It doesn't have to be for everyone. But I think the big moments like that one with the Milan Atletico, I think he should go over there, take the extra 30 seconds.
I'm not disagreeing with that. That's what I think. I'm just saying that the guy that's checking the VAR in the back end needs to be good enough to tell the referee to check. Yeah. And the referee that's on the field needs to be intelligent enough and you know, I understand that they see football maybe in a different way. They grew up in a different way, and you know, maybe a lot of them, they're normal people. Maybe they don't like it. I'm sure that there's many that don't like it. But at the end of the day, this is the tool that we have. And the biggest frustration for us becomes inconsistency. It's when you see it go one way, and I know it can't be perfect. But again, like I said with Orsato, I can accept a mistake. I mean, it's hard to accept a mistake. But what I'm saying is that when you double down on it and you say, oh, why'd you do this? It's your fault. That's when I lose it, and I think that's when many people get mad. And I think we're just getting to that point where we all just want this clarity. That every single episode that we're seeing right now, we want to be able to hear from the referees after the match. We want to be able to hear what they're communicating, hear what they're talking about, and it's going to happen. Eventually, I'm telling you, you will see these referees that at the end of the match, they should explain their call or explain the call in the moment.
Make it more transparent, though. Make it like American football that everyone knows, not just us talking amongst ourselves saying, "Oh, he did this. No, he did this." Have a microphone and be like, "It's a handball because the rules are this," and you explain it, give some transparency. Then the fans can at least fight with each other. So we have at least a peace of mind to know why he called that.
Mike, you know
so
what
we know.
They have a little switch over here when you watch the American football.
And then it speaks to everyone, right?
Everybody said,
"Hey, is that so hard though?"
I know we spoke about this.
But I'm just saying it'll make everyone's lives easier. I think.
I know. This is what we need.
It's fine.
But
guys,
Gaetano's looking at us like we're crazy.
Great podcast. Thank you for everybody for being here. Peter's out in Los Angeles, so he wasn't able to. I mean, I
Catching
think
the
once
rays.
Inter lost, the guy just he dipped. He's like, I'm not gonna.
He
be
booked a plane
with the
ticket.
podcast.
He ran out of town.
No, he decided to stay longer because he didn't want to face the music of tonight. So
The wrath of
The wrath,
Antonio. So guys, thank you for everybody that was watching. Make sure you go support Paramount Plus. Link is in the description. Once again, use our code with IFTV and make sure you get Paramount Plus.
Champions League tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
And
Guys,
also, guys, we
Well,
Oh,
have
today, if you're listening.
and new shirts we have on our site. We have the link in the description to pre-order. Only a couple more days, depending when you're watching this. It's a tricolored calcio on a beautiful blue shirt. Go check it out. And we will see you guys for the live stream coming up soon.
ciao ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.